Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. It's time for Taroscopes, and we're going to do the Taroscopes for the water signs. And we're going to start with the sign of Cancer, the first water sign in the zodiac. Cancer is a cardinal sign, meaning that it starts a season. And Cancer starts the season of summer if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, or winter if you live in the Southern Hemisphere. Cancer is associated with the moon. It is its ruling planet. And of course, Cancer is very changeable, so often called moody. But Cancers are very protective of the people that they love. They tend to be family oriented. Sometimes they can find themselves meandering through the past a little bit too much. But generally, Cancer is a deeply feeling sign, and we really just feel everything through our emotional body. So you can forgive us for our moodiness. Plus, our ruling planet is the moon, and the moon changes signs every 2.5 days. So if your ruler is in constant change, then your feelings are in constant change. But that's how we learn how to feel. That's what we learn, what we're feeling, right? So Cancer for the month of October, this is for Cancer rising, Cancer moon, Cancer sun. October is an interesting month. It is the 10th month. Numerologically, it's about new beginnings. The 10-1 is the Wheel of Fortune. So we can have a change of fortune just simply by the vibration of the month. Of course, because Cancer is ruled by the moon, the full moons and the new moons are generally pretty powerful. For the Cancer, we have a full moon in the sign of Aries that's happening on the 9th of October. And we have a new moon happening on the 25th of October, which is at the very beginning of Scorpio. So another water sign that for the Cancer is generally your 5th house of creativity and children. It is an eclipse. It's the start of eclipse season. Yes, we have the new moon eclipse on the 25th of October, and we have the full moon eclipse on November 8th, which is a Tuesday, and which is the midterms for the United States. So exciting times ahead. But let's take a look at Cancer and see what the cards have to say. I will be using for Cancer today, I'm going to use the Crow Tarot. This is one of my favorite decks of late. I purchased it when I was out in the Seattle area, and this woman who wrote this actually is originally from this area where I live in south coast of Massachusetts, but now lives where I love to visit and where my good friends live in the Pacific Northwest. So I find the energy to be similar. The difference is that it's bigger in the Pacific Northwest. Things are further apart and more grand just in general. But the East Coast has its beauty as well. And especially when you get up into New England, when you get up to Maine, it's very mountainous. It's cliffs to the ocean. So it's a beautiful, beautiful area. All right, anything near the ocean, the Cancer likes, right? And I am a Cancer. So this reading is for me as well. So what's ahead for Cancer in the month of October? Of course, the sun is in Libra for most of October. For Cancer, Libra is down in your 4th house of your roots, as it were. Oops, here we go. The Hermit popped out. We'll see if it comes up again. Oh, well, Cancers do like to hide away. They do like to hermit a bit. We have a tendency towards hermitage, but we can't completely live on our own because water is a relational element. We need to have something to relate to. So it's not like Earth. Earth can be by themselves and never come out, be totally happy. Cancer, we need a little bit more. The water signs need more interaction, I think. And so it doesn't even have to be discussing. Just in the general vicinity is usually good enough. Okay. All right. It almost feels right. I'm sorry it's taken me so long, but I don't like to stop shuffling until I feel like the cards are in the right place. And it's sort of an intuitive thing. And considering I'm a Cancer, and this is my reading, I want to make sure I shuffle good. I tell you, it's been a crazy September, huh? But then we could say that about almost every month for the last decade, I would say. All right, here we go. We're starting with the Nine of Wands, the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is the vigilant soldier. The Nine of Wands is somebody who has a lot of experience with keeping healthy boundaries, or had to learn how to keep healthy boundaries. And so you're standing strong, Cancer. You're standing in your power. This is located on the Tree of Life in Yesod, which is foundation. So you're standing strong in your foundational principles. Fire is about principles. Fire is about your philosophy of life and what's important to you and your connection to spirit. So you're nice and steady there, Cancer. Let's see if there's anything challenging that. Happiness. Happiness is challenging it. Now you're standing strong. Are you happy? That's the question, I guess. Yes. Do you feel fulfilled? Are you a little afraid of happiness? Are you so used to being vigilant that you can't let your guard down, to just let the goodness flow into your life? That's very possible. So let's see what's underneath it all. We have the Three of Cups. There's been a time where you've connected with maybe friends, people from the past. This is very often girlfriends, as I look at it. But that sense of security from being around people who love you, who feel the way you feel about things, who maybe think about things the way you think about them, not completely, because our friends aren't just there to agree with us. Our friends are also there to challenge us. And I certainly have friends whom I love very dearly who challenge me all the time. But I like that in a friendship. I like that in a friendship. But so we're rooted here at this. So in the root of this reading is one of friendship and community. And so these are all very good cards. So the base of this reading seems to be very good. We have the Page of Swords in the immediate past. You had to make a decision, maybe something that you didn't feel particularly comfortable making. The Page of Swords is not really quite adept yet at dealing with the sword. We can see that this crow is grabbing the sword by its sharpest point and its feet on its sharpest point, as opposed to the hilt, right, which would be safer. So there's a learning curve here for you, Cancer, in the past, where some actions you've taken, while maybe necessary, have been somewhat painful. Let's look at the sky. We have the King of Wands. The King of Wands is about, all the kings actually are about dominion. The King of Wands is an Aries card vibration. It is about being in charge, and it's about being in charge based on your beliefs, based on what you know to be true. This is a king who rules with the truth of his convictions or her convictions. It doesn't have to be a man. It can just be the energy of the male, the yang, the willing to take the chance, the willing to go out there, the willing to be out there and declare what it is that you believe in, right? Having enough courage to do that. And of course, we can see there's an infinity symbol up there in the corner. So what you put out, you get back. And you probably understand that as the King of Wands anyway. Let's see what's in the immediate future. We have the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is a convergence, a coming together. And so if you have a plan, or if you've wanted to initiate some sort of plan, you can do it at this time with the help of somebody else. With two is about duality. It's about two sides of things. But while you may come from a different sort of base of experience, you have a commonality of experience in which you can create something. So there's a creative opportunity here, new beginnings, new starts. How it's seen from the outside. We have the Five of Cups. This is sorrow. And Cancers can be a little bit moody, but also they feel, when you're a Cancer, you feel all the feelings, whether they're yours or not. And so you have to be very careful about what you let into your energy field for that reason. We tend to worry whenever you see children suffering. It's just devastating to you. Pets, animals, people who need to be taken care of, all of that stuff is very difficult. And so people can see you as maybe taking on too much of that, maybe taking on too much of the burden of the sorrow that we find ourselves in at this time. Your domestic situation, we have a decision being made in your domestic situation. This decision is here to bring balance to you. If you were out of balance, this decision will be balanced. It does also, once the decision is made, you can't go back on it. So it needs to be well thought out. The Ace of Swords generally is, unless it's happening to you. But in this case, I feel it's happening through you. And so you've had to, make that list, the good, the bad, and decide which direction you want to go once you've made the list. Hopes and fears. We have the Ten of Wands. This is the burden bearer. Maybe you're afraid you're taking on too much, or maybe you're tired of taking on too much, and your hope is to unburden yourself. The outcome, the moon. So the moon is not, oh goodness gracious. While the moon is your ruling sign, the card, the moon, is not a pleasant card to end with. At the beginning of the year, this card kept coming up in all the readings, and then Russia invaded the Ukraine. So this is not, the key to this card is, well, it's emotional ups and downs. That's what it means. So we can expect some emotional ups and downs in October. And so perhaps you need to, this was at the root of the reading. You need to depend on the people that love you and depend on your friends. But the key to the moon is to realize that you can get on the emotional up and down roller coaster, but you don't have to. It is a choice. And the moon does teach us that you can't give somebody else something you're not willing to give yourself. You can't save another person if they're not willing to save themselves. And if you find yourself trying to save people from situations, then you need to look in the mirror of the moon and save yourself from the situation, because you're not coming from a stable place. So there are some emotional ups and downs for Cancer. Let's see what's underneath this. We have the Ace of Pentacles, which is new financial starts, new businesses, potential though. The Ace of Pentacles is an opportunity, but you have to work Pentacles. They don't just fall in your lap. It's just not the nature of Pentacles. You have an opportunity to start a new path when it comes to maybe your resources, your relationship to your resources, your work, your relationship to your work, and the like. We have the Knight of Swords here, somebody who perhaps doesn't think before they do, somebody who takes unnecessary chances. And then we have the Heartbreak card. So it is very possible that somebody close to you makes a foolish choice, or something that you consider a foolish choice. and it causes you some suffering. But you don't really have any power over that. You don't have power over other people's choices. You only have power over your own. And oftentimes the heartbreak card is, it's what happens with the heartbreak card is that the third sword comes in and breaks the stalemate, and so you can move on. So there is some loss in these cards, and it will be a heartbreaking loss. But on the underneath it all, it's a necessary part in order for you to move forward in your life. So that's what October looks like for Cancer. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe. You can check out my other tarot scopes. Check out your sun, moon, and rising sign. This is also, the Cancer reading could also be for the United States. So this can be a sort of a US reading if you want to apply it to the chart of the US. If you would like a reading with me, astrology, Kabbalah, numerology reading, you can check out my In the News segments. That's the kind of reading I do on my clients as well as I do on people that you've heard about. And if you'd like that, you can go to my website, theseedsoftransformation.com. Go to the services page. You can get an hour reading, or you can get an hour and a half reading, whatever you feel the need. The hour and a half is usually a good starter reading because it gives me enough time to do the astrology, do the numbers, do the Kabbalah, look at the tree of life for you, get sort of the basic foundational aspects of your chart. And then if you're just doing like, hey, what's going on now? What can we do now? Then you may want to do the hour reading. So it's up to you. I do have availability, so check it out. And I'll see you again next month for the tarot scopes for the sign of Cancer, Cancer moon, Cancer sun, Cancer rising for the month of November. Eek. All right, guys, take care. Much love. Namaste.